Hi guys, welcome back to It's Cozy But Complicated. My name is Maria, and this is my little corner of the internet where I take Hallmark movies way too seriously. And y'all, I wanted to come on today. I feel like I've been away from this channel for a little bit. I just fell out of the whole Hallmark movie thing with the Christmas in July. Those movies really pissed me off, and I forgot to watch one of them, and then this last one I watched it. I was like, I just can't do this. I can't do it, y'all. These movies, the Christmas in July movies, were terrible. But I said, let me go on. I want to just talk about my favorite movies of 2026 so far and the my worst movies. So yeah, we're gonna do just like a faves, best and worst, I guess you could say, or view it or screw it, or bag it or trash it. I don't know what I'm going to call this, but I just want to just rank. I don't even know if it's a ranking, but I just want to talk about the 2026 Hallmark lineup so far and just tell you guys what are my favorites from this season or this year and what are my worst. Watching these little, call them these little pockets of movies with these monthly themes. I call them Insta movies. They're Insta movies. There's like movies that were probably written, filmed, and edited all in the same day. That's what they feel like. Now, some of them did a better job than others. Some of them were just bad. Like the concept didn't come together. So that's why I wanted to rank these. And these are in no indication of why I love Hallmark movies. These Insta movies, it's just, I want them to stop doing it. I would rather for Hallmark to give us less movies during the year than giving us a whole, all of these movies that you can tell they spent no time in really trying to produce. So let's just get into it. I want to keep this video under 30 minutes. So let's get into it. Let's start with my favorites. So I have my notes here. So I'm going to start with my favorites. My number one favorite movie of 2026, starting out, one of my faves, is A Melbourne Match. Now, this was a charming movie about a travel writer who travels to Australia to create content for, I guess she worked for a magazine. She meets this guy haphazardly. He's a very attractive guy, but he's going to be her tour guide. And he takes her on a tour of Australia, shows her all the kangaroos, good food, the beaches, the city. It was just a beautiful movie. And of course, they had great chemistry. And like I said, the setting actually mattered in this movie. I listed this as my favorite because the leading lady, she had a specific personality trait that irked me so bad that I ended up writing a Substack about it. She carried a lot of anxiety with her, and it made her make some crazy decisions throughout the movie, y'all. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I put this in my faves because it did bring out emotion in me, even though she was absurdly irritating. This lady was so irritating with her anxiety and her quest to just always be on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go. And she was like a bull in a china cabinet of her life and just knocking everything over and not turning around to pick things up or clean things up until she meets this guy. He gets her to calm down. They have a lovely romance together, and it was a beautiful movie. It made me want to go to Australia. So for that alone, it's one of my faves. The next one that's one of my faves is Missing the Boat. Missing the Boat was both of these was part of the Winter Escape series. So Missing the Boat with Emily Ullerup, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but Christopher Palaha. I love him. Anything that he's in, I'm watching. But this movie, it felt free. It felt effortless. It was funny. It was about these two, and it was grown folks. These were not young people. These were grown people who were on I think they were on an Italian cruise. They miss the boat. They get off. They go riding on a donkey or something for some type of excursion. The donkey runs off and leaves them. They have to run back to the ship, but by the time they get back to the ship is pulling off. So they have to race across Italy to catch up with the ship at the next port. And it's so funny. The thing that was so funny about this movie is that Christopher Palaha had back issues, and we all can relate to that. He had back issues, y'all. And his physical humor was, it was fun. I laughed out loud in this movie. And for that alone, I said, it's got to be one of my faves. Also, the Italian background. This is a travel movie. This is definitely, just like A Melbourne Match was a travel movie, this one was one as well. I just enjoyed it, and the two leads had great chemistry. I was rooting for their love, and they gave me everything I needed. So definitely Missing the Boat is a fave. And then we move on to Loveuary. And the premiere movie in the Loveuary series was The Way to You. This was, I wrote, quiet, sincere, and one of Hallmark's strongest emotional stories this year. And it was. This movie was set in New York City. Now, Hallmark gave a premise of the movie. Two strangers, they missed their connections on the subway. That was not what that movie was about. This movie was really about two single people who was looking for somebody else, but found each other. We have the leading lady. She is in New York. She works in the art scene. She works in the art gallery or whatever. She's single. She wants to find someone. When her sister challenges her, like, if you want to find somebody, you need to stop living in a nightlife. Get up early in the morning, go down to Wall Street and catch you a banker. So that's what she did. She got up like 5 something in the morning, and she went out on the subway train to meet a banker, and she runs into this beautiful man. Y'all, the names are not important right now. The story is, okay? She runs into this beautiful man, but he is actually looking for another lady that he bumped into. Anyway, we have a whole want ad in the paper or what have you. Anyway, they meet and they end up falling in love. We have the New York City backdrop. This movie, again, made New York look good. I've been to New York many times, but it made me want to go back. So this was also a part of, this was Loveuary. I was going to say it was Winter Escape. But, these movies, I think Hallmark was doing a good job, and these were the movies that premiered earlier in the year, January, February. So I thought they were off to a good start. I was excited. So my next fave after The Way to You is A Little Park Music. I think this was part of the Spring Into Love, maybe. I think maybe, yeah. So A Little Park Music, I wrote sweet without becoming overly sugary. This was a cute little movie. I didn't like the name at first, A Little Park Music, but this was so cute. This was a movie that felt like Hallmark. It felt like opening up a nice, funny greeting card you're giving to your best friend. This movie was about a piano and a gazebo. It was so silly, it's so stupid, but I loved it. A gazebo and a piano. Someone kept placing a piano in the gazebo in this little small town square. So the city planner and this rookie police officer, they are on the case. They are trying to solve the mystery. Who keeps putting these pianos in the gazebo at the town square? And when we find out who is behind all of this, absurd but funny. Unrealistic but funny. So for me, this was a fave of mine because it made me laugh. And my final fave for 2026 in the Hallmark movie lineup is I'll Be Seeing You. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you, this is a fave of mine because it stars Tyler Hynes. I love him. Anything that he's in, I'm there, I'm watching. Okay, so this is I'll Be Seeing You. It also has Stacey Farber and Christine Ebersole and BJ Harrison. She's in this movie. This was a road trip movie, y'all. I love road trips. That is one of my love languages. If you want to get me, say, hey, let's go on a road trip, I'm there. So it had a road trip. It had a cute little Volkswagen van. It had beautiful scenery up the Oregon coast. It had little side adventures. I love that it had older people. The relationship between the leading lady and her grandmother, I love that. The relationship between the grandmother and her best friend, played by BJ Harrison, I love that. Now, some things in it I didn't like. Anyway, that's not important. I guess some of the excursions, the going off the beaten path, I'm like, what are y'all doing? Just get to the destination. But looking for Teddy Robinson, that was just it was creative, it was hilarious, but I could see that being annoying to some viewers. But I just thought it was really funny. Tyler Hines was very sexy. He was a good guy in this movie. He was really took care of the elderly people. He took care of the lady that the leading lady. He's just a good, charming, lovable guy. So you can't hate a Tyler Hines movie. You cannot. So that's it. That ends my faves, y'all. So let's get on to this worst list. I'm gonna say they were worse because either they were too predictable, there was no chemistry, the script was weak, the characters never really came alive, and it felt like it was assembled in one day from Hallmark's greatest cliches. That's what it felt like. These were just full of tropes, cliches, formulas that we've seen over and over and over again. So let's see. What is my first one on the worst list is, y'all, Love on the Amazon. I think this was part of Winter Escape. Love on the Amazon is one of the worst movies of 2026. Was it an adventure movie? Because that's what it was giving me. It was giving me adventure. Very little romance. Maybe family drama. I don't know. It just felt like it was trying to do too much. So this movie was about a young lady. She's an assistant principal, but she's decided that she's going to travel to the Amazon to give her sister a letter that the sister, I think she had applied for a grant. The letter came in enough time for her to sign off on the grant or something like that, but the sister didn't see the letter. She lost the letter or something like that. So she was like, I got to get this to my sister in time. And to her, the only way to do that was to travel to the Amazon. She gets there. She meets this, I guess he's like a tour guide, a ship, because you have to have somebody, I guess, boat you in or whatever. She meets this guy. He's an attractive guy. Now, I'm going to say she was an attractive lady too, but she was different from the typical Hallmark leading lady. She wasn't tall, thin, and blonde. She was a plus size lady. Oh, Lord, please don't hit my car. She was a plus size lady. She looked very, just normal. Nothing striking about her. So I think that's why I didn't feel the chemistry between her and the leading man. They did not seem like they liked each other like that. I thought he was going to have a relationship with her sister. I thought that was where the movie was going, but it didn't go there. She had this odd obsession with reading books in the middle of the Amazon when we talking about heat, humidity, snakes, just uncomfortableness. She wanted to read a damn book. So I didn't believe that they even were interested in each other. And I don't like the Amazon because I don't like heat, snakes, and humidity in the jungle. I don't like all of that. And then the next movie is going to be my worst. And I think this one is going to be the worst movie of the year. Worst movie of the year is Romance at Hope Ranch. This one stars Allison Sweeney and Gabrielle Hogan. I thought this was going to be a good movie because it was Allison Sweeney. And this is, her character is a woman. I think she was traveling from Colorado to this small town in New Mexico to start her life over. She bought a ranch. She gets there. She decides to revive the Giddy Up Gala. And her daughter's going off to college. And so she's an empty nester. She gets here. She's got all these great ideas. But her ex-boyfriend has also moved to this town, chasing her. And they tried to play the movie like, it just is cute or whatever, but it really felt like a Lifetime movie because it felt like he was stalking her. It felt like maybe he was going to try to kill her at some point. And that's too heavy for a Hallmark movie. But that's what this movie felt like. His sister told him where she was and she was hiding from him. And then when we found out the reason she was hiding from him, it wasn't because he was a mean guy or anything like that. He just wanted them to move their relationship more. I think he wanted to move in, but he wanted to move to the big city and she wanted to move out here on this ranch. But she treated him like, oh my God, I have to get away from him because he's dangerous. That's what she treated him like. And then with this giddy up gala thing, she bought this ranch. She's working on this ranch by herself, like no ranch hands, no staff, nobody. Then she wants to open it up like a bed and breakfast. No, again, no staff, just her by herself. Again, this movie felt like somebody got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. They wrote out a script. Maybe they used Chat GPT. They called Allison. She was at the Whole Foods. It's like, hey, can you come over here at this? We at this beautiful ranch. Can you come over here and just, act these scenes out for us? And she said, okay, I'll do it. And that was it. So it was just a very empty movie. It made no sense. And it's really the worst movie I've seen on Hallmark. So worst movie for 2026. And then I'm going to say the royal setting. A royal setting was not good at all. So again, this one was about, this was one of their royal movies, and I've seen the royal movies on Hallmark before. They were pretty good. This one was not. The actress, I like her. I've seen her in some other movies, but her hair was really big and distracting. She's such a little tiny person, but she had this really, really huge hair. I guess they were trying to make her look like a princess or something, but she had no chemistry with the prince. He was a decent looking guy, but there was no chemistry. It made their coming together made no sense. So she was a gemologist, I think from New York. He reached out to her because he saw a write-up about her in a gemology magazine. He wanted her to come and design the crown jewels. Now, okay, but they had a royal jeweler. So why did you bring somebody in from New York City to design this crown when you got a jeweler on staff? We never see the jeweler. We don't know who he is. I thought it would have been a good idea. Maybe if she came in, maybe her and the royal jeweler, that was a romance that maybe could have happened. They meet each other. She comes from a specific mindset when it comes to gemology. He comes from a royal mindset when it comes to gemology. That could have been the story. But no, we get this prince and his mama, and it's just boring. It's just boring. It made no sense. It was a very empty, hollow movie, and I didn't like it. The side characters had a little bit more chemistry, but the main characters, I think it was one scene that really made me almost turn the TV off. Is when the person picked her up from the airport or train station or wherever, however she came in, and the car had a flat tire on the way. So she decides she's going to walk the rest of the way to the palace in high heels and a pantsuit and all this hair because she didn't want to be late for her meeting with the prince. I'm like, girl, you're doing too much. And then when she got to the house, she's explaining, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry I'm late. The car broke down. Yeah, the car broke down. It wasn't your fault. It was not your fault. So, and by the time she got to the house, the lady had fixed the flat tire and she drove up to meet her. Yeah, it was just stupid. This was just a stupid movie and I didn't like it. It is one of my worst. And then finally on my worst list, I'm going to say Texas Two-Step. I did not like, well, I have one more. I just remembered. Texas Two-Step. I did not like this movie at all. This one starred Heather Hemming and, oh my God, I didn't write down his name. I don't know. I didn't like this one for several reasons. I'm a Black woman, as you guys can see. I got a little bit excited about this one because BJ Harrison was in it and Heather Hemming. I had seen Heather Hemming in another movie on the Hallmark YouTube channel. This one from way back in the day. And in that movie, she played a Black woman. But I felt like in this movie, she was playing a white woman. They gave her a white lead, 2 white leads. And you had BJ Harrison, who owns this honky-tonk bar dance club in Texas. And she had all these patrons, but nobody in the audience was Black, or nobody, in the bar was Black. I don't know. It just felt really, really strange. And that's something that I always just pick up on in movies. But I also didn't like this movie because I felt like they were trying too hard to carry these Texas accents, and they were terrible. They were terrible. They were distracting. I didn't understand her supposedly relationship with the leading man, Heather Hammond. I didn't understand her relationship. They were high school sweethearts, but they kind of had this tug, pull and tug with each other. Like, I like you, but I don't like you. I used to love you, but I hate you. It was just so stupid and all over the place. It made no sense. Then they added like a love triangle with this other guy they went to school with. He was a big time developer or banker or what have you, and he wanted to buy the bar from BJ Harrison's character because she was having financial issues. But come to find out, the financial issues was only $40,000. That was it. But he offered to just give her the $40,000. She didn't want to take it. So Heather Hammond comes up with this dance-a-thon they were going to do to raise money. It was just, the premise was very stupid, y'all. It was very stupid, but I didn't understand the love triangle because the guy, yeah, he was interested in Heather Hammond, and the other guy was too, but when the banker guy found out that she was going to go with the leading man, he was like, okay, whatever, fine. You know, it was no fight there. There was no stakes or anything like that. So I don't know. I thought Hallmark missed a moment to add a little bit more diversity to this movie. And if you're going to make people, if you wanted the characters to have a Texas accent, then get somebody with a Texas accent. You get these people and they don't know how. And it was painful to watch. And last, y'all, in the worst, I'm going to give it to Mahjong with Love. I think that was the name of it. I didn't write it down, but I just remembered it. This movie had a lot of negativity surrounding it before it even premiered. People thought that it was whitewashed because Mahjong is evidently... Okay, guys, my camera overheated and it turned off. But I'm back. I actually stopped and had lunch, so I don't know... My lip situation may be gone. So let's just finish this. So I was talking about Mahjong with Love. So I think I was saying that movie was whitewashed. A lot of people felt like it was whitewashed because the Mahjong is a Chinese game, Chinese event. I think it's a game. It's a game. And so a lot of people felt like Hallmark was whitewashing it. So a lot of people kind of, I guess, low-key kind of boycotted the movie before it even premiered. I watched the movie. It wasn't a bad movie, but it had a little bit of, I guess, cultural appropriation, I guess you could say, because the leading lady was a white lady. She was going through some financial times, and she was about to lose her house in a divorce, and she needed a job. So her thing was to teach Mahjong. That she loved Mahjong. It changed her life. Oh my God, I'm going to become a Mahjong instructor. Okay, on the surface, that's fine. But in her friend group, one of her friends was an Asian lady who worked at the Chinese museum in the town and did cultural education around Mahjong. But the movie portrayed this white woman as an expert and used the Asian lady and her knowledge and her position at the museum is just like an afterthought. And I just thought that was a little bit irresponsible. Also in the movie, the chemistry between the leading man and leading lady, I just didn't buy it. I didn't buy it, y'all. I didn't feel it. I didn't buy it. And I just was bored with it. I was bored with it. But I do feel like as far as people boycotting the movie or not liking the movie before they saw it, the best thing about this movie was her friend group. One of her friends was Melissa Peterman. I think that's her name. What's her name? She played on Reba, and I can't think of. I keep wanting to say Charlene. Barbara Jean from on Reba. Love her. She's funny. She was funny in this movie. She's always a presence, and so that was the best thing about this movie to me. It's the friend group. So this could have been a movie about friendships. Overcoming, getting out of a bad financial situation, because the leading lady, she also lost her job as a teacher. She was losing the house through the divorce, and Mahjong was supposed to be the thing that saved her. But I wish it could have been the support of her friends. And yes, of course, a new job opportunity. But it still was not a good movie for me. I didn't like it. So it's on my worst list. So let's move on to the most forgettable ones, and then we're going to close out with Christmas in July. All right, so the most forgettable movies is they're just the movies that I just forgot. Like I have to go back and look up information to find out what the movies were about. Like I forgot about it. I forgot the plot. I forgot the characters, what have you. Let me see. I wrote that they weren't bad enough to make me angry. They weren't good enough to recommend. I wouldn't recommend these movies to anybody. They came on the screen. They happened. They had a runtime, and it was over. Let's see. So the most forgettable, I'm just gonna run down them real quick. Because of Cupid, didn't like it. I didn't like the male lead. He didn't give me leading man energy, and it was just dumb. The Stars Between Us started out good. I thought I was gonna like it, but the fact that the leading man and leading lady were never on the screen together until the end of the movie, and the ending was absolutely ridiculous. I didn't like that. Lost in Paradise, even though it had Lacey Chabert in it, um, it was just I don't like the whole mystery and romance type of thing. It had a lot of mystery. I didn't like that. No, that was no. I'm getting Lost in Paradise and Caught by Love. Yeah. Lost in Paradise was Lacey Chabert. Okay, then Caught by Love was kind of on the same premise. We had a mystery and a romance in a tropical place. I wasn't feeling it. Two for tea. This one was just a little bit too mushy for me. It was very clean. It was boring. She made some cute little teapots. I liked the love interest. The love interest in the movie was good, but it wasn't memorable to me. It was just a little bit too clean. Mm. Um, a season to bloom. A Season to Bloom. Y'all don't even know what that movie was about. I'm not gonna even pretend, but it's on the list. I don't know. To Philly with Love. I didn't like it. I don't like historical movies, so I would never watch that again. I would never recommend it. The Greek Isle had beautiful scenery, but I don't even really remember the story. I think it was a fake wedding. It didn't make sense. I didn't like it. The Love Heist. And I did like the Love Heist. I like they had a lot of fashion in it. The leading lady, she knew fashion, but there was no heist. I didn't like that. It was no heist. Somebody supposedly stole the dress, but she was supposed to partner up with the hotel security guard to go find it. But instead of them really investigating and try to find out what happened, they were just on their own little adventure together. Forgettable. A Castle of Our Own. I thought I was really gonna like A Castle of Our Own because it had oh, what's his name? What is that man's name? I wrote it down here, but for whatever reason, it's not showing up in my notes. But he had been away from Hallmark for a while, and he came back, and this was his reintroduction, I guess, to Hallmark movies. It was good enough, but just not memorable. Just not memorable. It was a sandcastle competition type of movie and renovation of a house movie, and having a lady who's burnt out of her job. Of course, she wants to find a new um, way to make money. She wants to start her own business, that type of thing. But it was okay, but it wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just unforgettable. Now let's go into Christmas in July so I can close this out. I want this video to be under 30 minutes. So Christmas in July was my biggest disappointment out of all of these little Insta movies. The Christmas in July lineup was just a big disappointment. Um, this is where Hallmark usually reminds us why we love Christmas movies. And that's how I came into Hallmark, is on the Christmas movies. But this year, yeah, it did the opposite. It just made me hate Christmas movies. It made me hate Christmas movies because none of the movies were, I'm going to say they weren't off. Well, they were awful. They were awful. They were predictable. They were interchangeable. They felt like movies that was written that morning and filmed and edited in the afternoon and pushed out to us by 8 o'clock that night. I know a couple of the movies were acquired from a different production company. That's something else that I did not like. I don't know. I guess I watched all four, but I can't tell you which movie had the strongest romance, a funny moment, because they kind of all just blurred together with the sea of um, Christmas lights, Christmas trees, ornaments, mistletoe. It was just a lot. They went heavy on the Christmas decorations in all these movies, And it was so much that it was a turnoff. It was a turnoff. So the movies was Christmas Under Construction, or that one was an acquisition movie. They had the leads trying to renovate a house that was already renovated, that was already decorated for Christmas. Bad chemistry. The leading man, leading lady, they were cheating on their spouses with each other. That's what I'm gonna say. But anyway, then we have Old Little Christmas Market. I did not like this one. Again, we threw up Christmas decorations and tried to call it a movie. This was supposed to be about a miniature artist. She created little miniature figurines, and her dad started this Christmas market. She was trying to keep it going and save it from a big developer. In the end, it all worked out, but it was just too much Christmas decorations. Then we had Snowbound for the holidays, y'all. I almost forgot to watch this one, but I did go back and watch it. This one was kind of okay. We had the leading lady. She worked for a hotel conglomerate or whatever. She was an operations manager or something like that. And there was this ski lodge that needed to be saved. She was going to go there to help them save it from not a big developer, but from some guy that wanted to buy it. They were losing money. She went there to try to help them. The owners, this guy, he did not want to come into technology. He was still doing things the old way. They had kind of like this love-hate relationship, and then they eventually fell in love. The lodge was saved, blah, blah, blah. But this one, the Christmas decorations were kind of minimal, but we had a lot of snow. It was a lot of snow. And they made us feel like it was really cold outside. And I believed it was cold outside, but not something that I want to see again. And then Love on the Mistletoe. Love Under the Mistletoe. That was the one that premiered this past weekend. Y'all, I hated it. I hated this movie. Mainly because, again, everything in this movie had to be the color cranberry and hunter green. Cranberry and hunter green, y'all. It was too much. It was too much, y'all. It was just overload. It was Christmas overload. The leading lady walking around with these big red headphones. I guess she's listening to music. She was an interior designer. She was tasked. Her company was tasked with, I guess, decorating the town Christmas tree. So she would just walk around town with these big red headphones on in this burgundy coat, and everything was just burgundy, cranberry, green, hunter green. And then the leading man, he was a nice looking man, but I don't know what they did with his hair. I don't know nothing about white men and their hair, how they wear their hair, but they had his hair looking like a hat. His hair was shaped like a baseball cap. And I'm like, what is that? Is that how white men wear their hair? It was very off-putting. It was distracting. I don't believe that the leading man and the leading lady even knew each other. I think they just met that day because they had zero chemistry. You tell me he's supposed to be this big bad businessman from New York that we never see. We only see him sitting inside of an office, but they tell us that he's in New York, but we see nothing about New York. And he comes back to the little small town to help decorate his grandmother's house for a big fundraiser. But really his intention is to sell the grandmother's house so a big condo development could be constructed in that place. But anyway, it doesn't happen because of course it doesn't, because he falls in love with the leading lady. He's not going to sell his grandmother's house. He's going to let the town use the house for fundraisers and blah, 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 blah. Again, too much Christmas, not enough story, no chemistry between the leads. And we had the trope, the misunderstandings, the almost kisses. And it was just, I don't know, y'all, but I didn't like it. So that's it. I'm just going to say that Christmas in July was a failure to me. We still have new movies coming out. Then we have the fall movies, and then we have Countdown to Christmas. So I'm going to stick and stay and see what happens. But so far this year, watching these little Insta movies, it's draining me, y'all. It's draining me. But I'm going to still try to show up for this channel, even though nobody watches my videos. That's it for me, guys. So let me know down below. Do you agree with me? Disagree? What are your favorite movies so far on Hallmark 2026? And tell me which ones were your worst. I'd like to know. I'm curious. All right. That's it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep it cozy, but also you can keep it a little bit complicated.